How's it going, guys? I'm the gaming updater, but you can call me TK. Holy cow, am I excited to do this video. It's taken me ages, like just embarrassingly long, to come up with a good series to do for Battlefield 4. I wanted to come up with something where I could play as hard as I can, play as the good Battlefield as best as I can play, and still keep it interesting, you know, not just talking you through matches that I've played. So I had to come up with something to keep it rolling, an actual series, and here it is. Welcome to the Battlefield X4 series. So basically how this is going to work, I'm going to play 4 games, and in each game I'm going to do as best as I can to get the highest score that I can, hopefully to end up with a total score of 40,000, so an average of 10,000 points per game. So for some of you amazing players, that might sound pretty easy. For some new guys, that might sound ridiculously hard, but for me, that's a good score for me. So I'm not always going to get it. It seems to be the perfect score, whether or not to just sort of keep it as a 50-50. I don't know whether I'm going to get it. Yeah, so just a way to keep it cool, keep it entertaining. 4 games, trying to reach 40,000. We're going to start with the Naval Strike DLC. So, first of all, I'm going to go through all the DLCs. And so at the end of the video, I want you to make sure you leave a comment as to which DLC you would like me to do next. But we'll get on with that later. I'll remind you about that later. For now, let's have a look at this match. Now, so this was the first match. I did alright in this match. Now, what you're looking at now, that even from the start of the video, this was all the first life. So I came in on the boat, captured an objective or 2. Nothing was really happening, and so I ran off to find another objective. That's really what you should do. Really, what you should be doing at the start of every Battlefield game is before people get there, just try and cap as many objectives as you possibly can. And especially with ones like this, with the Naval Strike DLC, you'll see me a lot of the time in an attack boat. And you know what? This DLC, actually doing this video, has really helped me with my attack boat skills. As in, I never really used it. It's probably my favorite vehicle. It's so easy to rack up points, especially on this DLC when you've got all this water. But it's such a simple boat, and even straight from the get-go, like, you don't have to unlock too many things. I'm pretty sure this is the one of the guns that you get when you first use the attack boat, so you don't have to do a load of crap to unlock really good stuff. But I'm using it mainly to take out infantry, so I'll rock up onto the shore. This map itself, it features 4 objectives outside on sort of like little separate islands. So what you can do is, they're almost in each corner of the map, so you can go to Alpha and Bravo and just move around, capping them 2 over and over again. And once you've got them both settled down, you can head round to the other side of the map and do, I think it's Foxtrot, and I don't know what the one for G is, but you can do the same thing there. So I was doing that, I was making some good objectives, and eventually I came inside because everything was captured, nothing was happening. Like you can see now, come inside, and this is a little trick that I use. If nothing's happening, if I'm capturing the objective nicely, just chill underwater. As in, there's no reason to move, everyone's going to be wondering where I am. Just wait, cap the objective, make sure you stay alive. However, you'll have noticed that while it was capping, it's gone backwards. Some infantry have come in, and all of a sudden it's not mine anymore. So I've had to hop out of the water. You've got to make an attack. You've got to make some sort of an attack if nothing's happening. But eventually I get picked off from behind by about, yeah, there you go. Look, it's probably about 3 or 4 dudes over there. Another one in the water. But yeah, but just chill in the water. If nothing's happened, chill in the water. You'll stay alive. Make sure capping the objective is your primary, is your main source of getting points. So for instance here, I've changed squads. Now, for someone new to Battlefield, try to stick into a squad that's relatively full. Now that might not always be the case, but 90% of the time you want to be in a full squad. Now why is that? You can spawn off squad mates. So for instance, in this instance, I wasn't getting enough. My squad weren't spread out enough. I wasn't getting a good enough range of places to spawn on. So I changed squads to a bigger squad and hopefully some better players, and even players that are playing by themselves and less as a squad. Because I'm playing solo and I'm not playing with friends, I want a squad that's going to be all over the place by themselves, so that I've got a number of different areas that I can spawn onto. And eventually I ended up back at Alpha and Bravo. So there was no attack boat at this point, but these 2 objectives were sort of connected together by a little island. Here we go. See, every chance I got, straight back onto the attack boats. Just perfect way to get points. So what was happening at Alpha and Bravo, I'd go around, I'd capture Bravo, And then whilst I was capping it, usually Alpha would get captured by the other team. So then once that was captured, I'd just take my boat, I'd capture Alpha. By then, they'd captured Bravo. And I was just going round and round in circles. But check out, here we go, look. Ready? Where the arrow is. Boom! 9,341. So there you go. So that's the first, that was the end score of the first game. And now we head into this second game. This was a cool map. I think it was a bit different for the Naval Strike. It did have a lot of water. However, I don't think it was as well balanced as some of the other maps. I think probably the I can't remember what it's called. The one the aeroplane is probably my favourite one. Balance-wise, it just seems to be the perfect mix of water and land for a good naval map. A couple of the other last two ones, I think they have a bit too much water. But this one was the same sort of thing. I got off to a pretty cool start. I was shooting well. I was getting some good kills. See, look at that down there. See, playing the objective, man. Just play the objective. I've just made 320 points with a kill, assist, and neutralizing a flag, and bang, another 150. So that adds up to around about 480, sorry about that. Yeah, you got really just play the objective, guys. I see so many players that are just by themselves, just wanting to get kills. They might be sniping, but just spend their entire game sniping. See, sniping's alright. If I'm camping in a spot, though, I'm doing it, and I'm looking at objectives that aren't ours so that I can spot out enemies for my teammates. I'm picking off a couple, trying to watch people's backs and make sure they know what's around them. Check this out. Bang! Oh, I was pretty wrapped with that. The attack boats on this thing were amazing. And then this attack boat actually got me here. So I actually used the boat I was in a second ago to blow up that last one and move into this area here. In which case that boat got me, so I decided to hop out of it on my next life and blow it up. Take revenge. This one was pretty funny. I've come into this building, the objective's all theirs, and no defense. So I've just chilled, taken a seat, had a cup of coffee, and the objective was soon mine. And I got the medal for it, and I got the capture medal for it. So I got the ribbon, the medal, loving it. Soon to come over this hill as well. Spotted this guy. One of my friends actually said, why don't you just shoot him? And I was like, no, I've got to stalk my prey, man. I can't just shoot him all the way up there. So I ran down a bit closer and took him out before heading back onto the attack boat. So this life here was a good example of using vehicles and how you're not always going to be safe. Now, a couple of people have asked me, that dude's just gone flying up. A couple of people have asked me, how do you stay alive for so long in vehicles? Well, quite often, if you're not amazing, like I'm not awesome with vehicles, you're not always going to stay alive. So right here, I've taken out a couple of dudes. I'm making sure I'm still capping the objective. I'm in an area where I'm only fighting on one front. However, here, look, a guy's taken me out. I've got no idea where he is. I'm losing a bit of health. I'm going to get out. There's no point waiting around. I'm not going to try and survive as long as I can. Capping the objective is my main target, so I'm just going to go looking for him and just make sure that that objective is mine. Staying alive is... I wouldn't say put it as a priority, but making sure that you're not trying to last as long as you can in a certain situation. If you need to get yourself out of there, get out of there. Find another place to run, unless you're trapped and fight your way as much as you can. But for instance, in that situation, there's a lot happening. There's one guy there. I don't know where he is. He's taking me out. If I stay in that boat, I'm gone. I'm going to die. So I hop out. I make sure I'm captured the objective, and I go looking for him. And luckily, I managed to pick him off. So this was the same sort of a thing here. I'm not running out in the wide open. I'm finding a spot to chill. If the flag isn't being captured quickly, or if it's not being captured at all, there must be someone around. Wait for them to come to you and try and stalk at your prey rather than just go charging out at them. Same thing here, except I had a squad of mates. I got a bit unlucky here. You'll see I've tried to stick with some friends. They've run off that way. So this guy's looking at that door there, and I noticed that, so I'm going to look at the other door. Boom. So I'm just going to chill there and wait there for a minute. All of a sudden, I think I see a dude. Here we go. Look, up the stairs there. And here's where I get a bit unlucky. Comes through that door, and I'm just met from behind. Bugger. No, I should have. I should have just kept looking at my door like I was. That other guy had that door covered. I should have just leave him to it. This was pretty weird. This is an enemy objective. I've gone there to try and cap it, and there's this infantry vehicle just left there. So no one's taken it. I've gone yoink, captured the objective. And off I go, and I actually got on a pretty good roll here. So notice as well, I'm not in the middle of the flag. I'm still capping the flag in the vehicle. I'm not standing off at a distance or anything like that. You're not going to be able to do much. I'm still capping objectives. Look at this. This is my third objective I'll be capping. But I'm giving myself some space, enough space that I can defend myself, but not you know, not so close that I'm just going to get blown up by C4 or something. So I kind of want to be on the edge of where I can cap the objective, and try and keep the fight on one front. You don't want to be in the middle of everything. You want to be on the edge. You want people to be in front of you, not behind you. So there we go, captured another one. Headed off to this one, and at this point I had a dude with me as well who managed to get me the kill assist here. Bang. Neutralised the objective. I was on a roll. There was not much happening. I wasn't meeting much defence. There was usually by now you'd be hit by a couple of RPGs or some C4, but nothing. There we go. Boom. 4 objectives I've captured in this one vehicle. Why stop? I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep moving until someone stops me. But I'm always running to the objectives. I'm not going for the kills. So bang, a couple of dudes get me. Take out a couple of guys. Eventually, I'm going to get hit a few more times, and I'm going to get out. Here we go. Probably near here, maybe. I can't quite remember, but yeah, there we go. So I'm taken out. There's not loads of people around. I'm pretty much gone if I stay in there. I'm better off trying to run and trying to stay alive. Boom, RPG, game over. What did I score for this game? 9,611 as we move on to Lost Islands. So that means we've got a total. Both have been in the 9,000s. We need the 10,000 average to reach that 40,000 score. I can't keep sight of the X4 series. I need that. I need these points, and the best way to do it was to keep capping objectives. So the first thing I do is I head off. But this game, holy cow, man! This was one of the most frustrating games that I played. Making this video. I had no support from my teammates. Bang! See, I can snipe. I know what's going on. I'm not a noob. But even then, I'd just come off capturing Alpha as a sniper, and I was keeping an eye out over the bank. I'm still capping objectives as a sniper. I'm not just sitting back and doing nothing, which can be frustrating. You can do what you want, really. I don't really care if you're doing that, but if you really want to be putting up a high score, and if you really want to be helping your teammates, make sure your focus is still the objectives. But this map, I had no help from my teammates. Everything I was doing was by myself. I had a couple of instances where guys had finally given me a little hand, but overall, nothing was really happening. Look at this. I was just trying to pick off as many as I could, one by one. I was getting on a bit of a roll, but every time I got on a bit of a roll, bang, someone from behind. There's always another person. And look at the scoreboard. I just couldn't get control over anything. I would have loved some teammates to help me out. It was getting very frustrating. So I decided to slow down a little. I tried to go back to recon again, pick off a couple of dudes before I go running into the objective. But everything I did, I just got smashed. Finally, I found this guy. He'd ran into Alpha, and I thought that was a great move. Finally, someone capping some objectives, so I ran in with him. And then off we went back into Charlie, back to the plane, in which case I got onto this little run, so I'd already neutralized the objective, found a little spot in the plane, and watched this happen. This was awesome. I felt awesome after this, so I just captured Alpha, come into Charlie, there, flag captured, boom, one man down. I think I got another couple of dudes on the other side of the plane as well. And it was good to see my teammates finally doing something, but this was ages in the map. Look at the score, we're already on 412. Oh, it was so frustrating. No one was doing anything. It was, normally I wouldn't really care, because I always just like to muck around on Battlefield and stuff, but when you're playing as seriously as you can and all your focus is to win, you really need your teammates to step up, and yeah, it was really frustrating. So overall, I think I really like the Naval Strike DLC. I'm actually quite depressed that not many people play it, because they're really cool maps. See, I'm not a big fan of the Final Stand DLC. I might do that one next for the X4 series, just because just to get it over and done with, kind of thing. But I find those maps, vehicles are a bit overpowered. As in, it's cool if you're in a vehicle and stuff, and it's fun to run around and things, but they're just not they're not well balanced enough, I find. But the Naval Strike it was hard to do the Naval Strike. I did it first because I finally found a full server. There's because I live in Australia, not a lot of people playing. And it can be really hard, especially with the Naval Strike, because I really wanted to play Carrier Assault as well. I was looking for a Carrier Assault game, but no one plays it, it's quite depressing, because these maps are awesome. I know it's an older DLC, but it was quite depressing, because I've only just got Premium, and these maps seem really cool. This was a great example of how my teammates weren't helping out. So I've landed the helicopter there. There was a few teammates in with me, and I've let them take off with it. But I'm going to stick behind and capture the objective. But as predicted, as soon as they take off, let's see what happens. As soon as they take off, boom, gone. Obviously, someone who didn't really know much about flying a helicopter. See, when you've got what the idea was, I'd land the plane. They can take off and try and capture another objective. I'll stick around here. There's no one around. I'll make sure this one gets captured. I did that. However, whoever was flying the plane afterwards has decided, I've got an idea. Let's just crash right there and kill everybody. Which it's just a perfect example of how everything was happening in this game. No one was helping out. Nothing was going my way. Oh, it was such a frustrating game, and everywhere I went, I was picked off from behind. No one was shooting me from the front. There was no good fights. It was just from behind. I'm just getting picked off. There we go again. Look. Oh man, it was so frustrating. But I managed to have a bit of a comeback. Every now and then I'd rack up a good score, especially at Charlie. I think I really needed to focus more on the plane. I was actually getting some pretty good kills around here. Every now and then, see, you're going to get picked off. Look at that. I shouldn't have been top of the ladder at that point. I don't think. I wasn't having a great game. I shouldn't be top of the ladder. But everyone's doing so badly that that's like... And when everyone else is doing so badly, you haven't got much to go off. You need that sort of support. Like, a tip I gave in my Battlefield video, Beginner's Guide to Battlefield. There we go. I finished with 7,645. And that meant that I was going to have to try and get to around about 13,000 in this game here. But as I was saying, in my Beginner's Guide to Battlefield 4, one of the tips I gave was to try and stick with squad mates. So you'll see with all of these, there's always some teammates around me. And I always like to spawn off squad mates rather than flags. And stick around, even if they're not on my squad, stick around teammates so that I've got some support. So in this game, they did pick up a little bit, but again, spoiler alert, they weren't too... They weren't as helpful. They were still not picking up enough. So I took to the boats again, and I got on another bit of a roll. I think I tried to just stick to the vehicles again. I think I left them in that last game mainly because it was a bit of a smaller map. It was a bit more well balanced, and I'm much better on feet. I'm not actually that good in a vehicle, but here we go. Look, it was much better. I was getting some teammates on the machine guns. I had some guys repairing me. It was much easier than the last game. But in this game, I think it was less the fact that my teammates weren't giving enough support, and more so the fact that, we just got flogged. The other team were just amazing. They were just perfectly spread out everywhere we went. And we met some sort of defense. It was almost like they were all working together as one big unit. Look at this. Oh, I was spewing. I couldn't take that chopper out. I was so close. I think I managed to pick off this dude, but I was spewing. I didn't get that other one. So as I was going to say at the very start of the video, make sure you leave in the comments what DLC you'd like me to do next. If I don't get many votes, if no one votes at all, that's okay. I'll probably do the final stand. But if you want me to do something else, let me know. Leave it in the comments which DLC you'd actually like me to do, and I'll do it for you. That was... I was quite pretty happy with that kill. I think I let out a little woohoo. Just searching for that dude in the water. He took forever to find. But I was not going to give up. I must find him. At this point, I've just stuck to the boat. I was doing really well in the boat. I think I was so glad I did the naval strike, because I wasn't as confident in a boat, but I had a couple of games on the naval strike just to get to know the maps a little bit before I made this video to try and get up a better score as I could. And in so, I partnered with one dude. I manned the machine guns on an attack boat while some pro in an attack boat just started capping objectives, and I was like, he's not really doing anything too difficult. I'm going to try and do it, and I did quite well. So then when I came into this, I thought, you know what, let's take back to the boats. As you'll have seen, I'm just constantly in the boats in this DLC. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to try the attack boat, and I hooked in. And it's so much easier than you might think. So the thing is, I think what I was doing was, you just can't stay too close. You're gonna get killed like that. You're gonna get picked off every now and then. But I had to stop going into the middle of fights. It's something that's a little easier in an attack boat, especially because you got water behind you all the time rather than land, so it can be a lot harder in a tank. I think in the attack boat, if you want to learn how to use vehicles, but you want to learn something cool, as in you don't want any more light vehicles, you're a bit sick of using quad bikes and buggies and things like that. If you want something really cool, the attack boat's probably the best way to start, just because you can easily put yourself on a war on one front. as in, like, you can keep the water behind you and capture the flag right in front of you, keep everything where you want it, and keep everyone in front of you, and it's a lot easier to control. On a tank, you can do that, however, it's quite easy for, you know, a recon to come around and flank you and stick some C4 on the back of your tank or whatever. It's still, it's just a bit harder, another level up. Helicopters, I'm awesome at flying helicopters, but I still don't know where to go. I don't know how people stay alive for so long. No matter what I seem to do, I just get picked off one by one. But anyway, the attack boat, I was getting picked off a couple of times, so I decided to head back to land and help my teammates capture a few of the inland objectives. This is probably equal with my favourite map, apart from the aeroplane one, for this DLC, just because this one in the aeroplane, it's very well balanced out with a good amount of water and a good amount of land for both battles. The only problem I have with this one is the center 3 objectives are really close together, and I mean really close together. Like, I could kill someone with my carbine from one objective to the other. They're just so, it's probably a little too cramped, but it doesn't really matter, because then you've got the ones out on the water. I think it sort of evens them up a bit, but you probably get what I mean. But I was on a bit of a cool little run here. I think I got picked off there just before I managed to capture the objective. There were no more attack boats left, so I decided to take to just this one. My teammates jumped off, so I've manned the machine guns to cap the objective, and luckily saved his life by storming that kill there. And together we finished it off, so off I went. Yeah, this was it was a good game, but they were just too good. Look at the score, 75 to 263. They were all over us, and there was not really much I could do. I had to try and take out as many as I could. That was a pretty fun one to do. And escape. So that was, I'll come flying in, just press X. But here we go, 2 points left on the scoreboard. I managed to get another capture, try and take out this boat, but I didn't have enough time. And so that finishes the first X4 series to add up to a total of 34,822. Didn't get to 40,000, but let me know if you like this series. Catch you later, TK out.